In March of 2023, Michel Falcon took a bold step that defied conventional wisdom within the entrepreneurial world. He shared a document with his restaurant employees revealing not only their salaries, but his own. Now, Michel is here to take us on a journey into the heart of his philosophy, which centers around radical pay transparency. Please welcome entrepreneur and expert on customer experience and high-performing teams, Michel Falcon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Since 2007, I've been studying the psychology of employee behavior and team performance. And I can distill all of the studies, the lessons, and the research in one simple sentence. Employees want what humans want: truth and transparency. What I've learned is that we've all erected a barrier between how we behave in our professional lives and how we behave in our personal lives. When I go home this afternoon and greet my fiance at home, I'm not going to put on my fiance hat. Tomorrow morning, when I go to my restaurants, I'm not going to put on my CEO and founder hat. It is the same hat. We behave the same way when we're trying to build relationships with our aunts, our uncles, our friends, our brothers, our sisters, our parents. But yet, we've distorted how we behave in the workplace, how we lead humans, how we lead people. In 2009, I was a frontline employee working at the head office of 1-800-GOT-JUNK, taking 100 calls a day. And I always envisioned that one day I would start a company of my own. And in 2009, I said I was going to do something that would bring truth and transparency into the workplace. Today, I own fast casual restaurants, 3 locations here in Toronto called Brasa Peruvian Kitchen, and soon to be New York. My industry has 100 to 150% year-over-year turnover. So the fast casual restaurant that you go to today, next year will have an entirely different team. Last year, Brasa Peruvian Kitchen had 17% year-over-year turnover with our employees. So we're beating the market. In 2023, I finally got to do that thing I said I was going to do in 2009. I revealed all of our wages and our salaries across the board within my company. Why did I do this? I didn't do this to be radical. I did not do this to be a contrarian. I did not do it for the free PR. I did it because it's the right thing to do. I did it because I want to build a culture of truth and transparency. What that looks like, that can seem like a really scary thing to do. Nearly everyone told me not to do it. I had an executive at Netflix say, "Don't do it. We thought about doing it." I had a couple people say, "Do it. If your company doesn't implode, maybe we'll do it too." I'm not a martyr. I'm not a martyr. I just felt like it was the right thing to do, and I also would want to work for a company that was willing to do things like this. Within leadership, you have to be willing to be misunderstood. Within leadership, it's our responsibilities to create workplaces that have never been seen before. This is what it looks like. This is a snapshot of the document that I released to my team. Every single person was listed. You have their name. You have what they earned when they joined the company, and you have what they earned current date. We refresh this every single time somebody is hired. We refresh this every single time somebody is offboarded. But the last column you see to the right is what supports this. It's what will make it stick. I call it the employee journey. It's a snapshot of all the activities and the achievements of every single individual. Employees want what humans want: truth and transparency, and the employee journey is what brings that truth It's undeniable. We know that Miko earned that 5-star review that one day. We know that Sufisha did this for that one supplier. It's all documented. That's truth, and this is transparent. 423 companies. When the world stopped during the pandemic, I stopped too. I saw employee behavior changing. I knew customer behavior was going to change as well. So I stopped speaking, was trying to manage this restaurant business, which is ever so difficult. Of the 423 companies across dozens of industries on different continents, every single company in one form or another said that they were transparent. Nearly all told me that they shared their revenue data with their employees, and a few, most, shared their P&Ls with their team. But none of them were willing, or currently were, sharing statistics around wages and salaries. But I thought you told me that you were a transparent company. We're transparent when we feel comfortable to be transparent. You know that thing that secures your livelihood? We're not going to talk about that. And as a matter of fact, if you talk about that, we're going to punish you. We're already talking about it behind your back. It's happening. And if you punish us for talking about it, you're not punishing us. You're fracturing the trust that we have with your company. And if you want us to bring our whole self to work like you say you do, stop punishing us. To talk about the thing that secures our livelihood. Raspberries are $6.99. Gasoline is at record highs. It's becoming unaffordable to live in metropolitan cities in North America. So that thing that secures our livelihood, we should probably sit down and talk about it. This isn't a soccer player. This is an employee. We know what Mbappe makes. His teammates can easily search what he makes. If you do a little bit of math, you can figure out what this individual earns as well. She's been in the media a lot lately, hasn't she? It's already happening. Why are workplaces and company cultures that are transparent aren't willing to go the entire way? I didn't do this to be a contrarian. I didn't even do this for a DEI strategy. I did it because it's going to happen. And I know it's a taboo subject. I heard it from everybody saying not to do it. The study of employee behavior is a study of human behavior. It's the same thing. We all want the same thing. We want truth and transparency in our relationships. The reason my fiance and I are going to get married next month is because we have truthful conversations and we're transparent with each other. Imagine if I withheld information from her. Imagine if I withheld information from my best friend or my mother or my father. Wouldn't there be a fracture in that relationship? 30 to 40% of divorce is because of finances, because the lack of truth and transparency in how incomes are earned and how things are spent, how debt is managed. Human behavior and finances. Human behavior, wages and salaries. It's the same thing. If these relationships and marriages are ending because of money, don't you think the relationships in our workplaces are fractured because of the same reason? It's human behavior. Remember that wall I told you about that we have erected? This is how I behave in the workplace, and this is how I behave in my personal life. We have to break down that wall if we're truly going to have truthful and transparent conversations. To build a company that the world needs more of, one where everyday people are empowered to make great money, achieve career growth, and help close the income inequality gap. I consciously did not look at the confidence monitor in front of me while I recited that. That is stitched into the DNA of my leadership. That is our mission statement at Brasa Peruvian Kitchen. It took me 1 year to write it, not because I can't string a couple sentences together. I did it because I know that this is going to be the last company that I start. And I wanted to have a strong foundation from day one. I don't actually call it my mission statement. It's why we exist. It's the why we exist statement. I sell commodity products, fresh salads, warm bowls, superfood smoothies with real proven ingredients and superfoods. You're not going to see any of that in this statement. If we're going to build a people-first culture within our organization and recognize that employees want what humans want, truth and transparency, we need a strong foundation of why we exist. Why do we come to work? To build a company that the world needs more of. I don't want to be villainous. I operate in an industry that exploits minimum wage. I don't agree with that. I think that's an exploitation of people. I'm not willing to step on people. One, we're everyday people. Everyday people. I promise you, Elon Musk does not care about me, he does not care about you, but yet we celebrate and talk about him all the time, and individuals like this. What about the everyday people that power our communities, the everyday people that are volunteering at this conference, the everyday people who help you, serve you coffee in the mornings? Those are the people that we have to celebrate. Those are the people that we have to build the foundation of our organizations to be able to maximize performance and create a culture with meaning. To make great money. I celebrate when my team members get promoted. Do I get a P&L statement every single week? Yes, I do. And I make sure that I'm earning a profit. Profit is an outcome of people. Profit doesn't come first, then people. That's backwards. I want people to make great money, to achieve career growth in any industry. Doesn't just have to be in my industry. I celebrate people that leave our company because I want them to recognize Brass Approving Kitchen like their alma mater. It's where they got started. I got my start at 1-800-GOT-JUNK, and now I'm in the restaurant business. And help close the income inequality gap. I'm not going to do this on my own, but I'm not going to be the bad part of it. I have a genuine concern of the deterioration of the middle class. We're all in really big trouble if the middle class deteriorates. I'm going to do my part to make sure that it doesn't. The Cirque du Soleil, I've been studying high-performing teams, and often we say, you know, here at this company, we're like a family. Maybe. Others will say we're like a professional sports team, a championship-winning sports team. What about the Cirque du Soleil? They're my favorite team. Everybody must come together. They're on the same page. They have truth. They have transparency. And if one person decides not to show up to work one day, the whole show is ruined. But here's why I love the Cirque du Soleil as an example of a high-performing team. Do you know the individual's name in the middle there? I doubt it. That's something I call nameless leadership. There is no LeBron James of the Cirque du Soleil. Everybody just comes to work on the same page and gets the job done. When you bring truth and transparency into the organization, this is what happens. Meet Natalie. Natalie's Armenian. She was raised in Syria. She joined my company in February 2022 as a part-time team member. She was earning $20 an hour when she joined us. And today, I had coffee with her this morning at 8 a.m. Today, she oversees 3 of our stores in Toronto, and she earns $80,000 a year, and that was in a year and a half. This is what happens when you bring truth and transparency into your organization. Pay transparency is not a gimmick. It's a growth strategy for your company and your people. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. And that's a wrap. Thank you for joining us at the Work Shift stage. Come back at 1:30 p.m. for an afternoon of expert speakers on the Scale Up stage. Be sure to check out some of the food truck vendors that we have on Front Street for some tasty lunch ideas, and explore everything else the festival has to offer. And we'll see you soon.